When I was invited here, the common sense of my managers and the people who handle all my schedules, because I travel a lot, told me, sir, don't go there because today I had some very important engagement where lots of money was involved for my next film. They said, sir, please don't go. Otherwise, this meeting will get postponed. And what's the point? Sanskrit Short Film Festival. There will be 5, 6, 7 people who have made the film and nothing is going to happen. Why are you wasting your time? But I fought with my managers. And I said, I will go for 2 reasons. Number one, my father was one of the greatest Sanskrit scholars, Dr. Vivek Agnihotri. He was a chairman of Oriental Conference, head of Department of Sanskrit. And if people who know Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, our first Prime Minister, President, second President, he was a great orator. He used to speak in Sanskrit. And a lot of people used to translate him, but he was never happy because he was such a great scholar and his Sanskrit was very, very difficult, his construction. Then he found my father, and my father used to translate his speeches. My father also translated all Kalidasa's work, every work of Kalidas. And he translated all the Vedas, and the last Atharvaveda, he was 92 and he broke his hip, so he was lying on bed for 4 years, fully nursed. Then Gyanpith Publications, Gyanpith Prakashan, they asked him to translate Atharvaveda. And he used to say, this is Saraswati's work until I finish this great work of Dharma, even Yamraj comes, he can't take me from this earth. And you won't believe it is true. He finished it and he asked one of our servants, he used to live in Bhopal, he asked him to dispatch it to Gyanpith. Once it reached Gyanpith, that very evening he fell sick and he went to the hospital, and within 24 hours he left his body. So I am connected to Sanskrit. I understand every word which you speak, but I can't. So what I wanted to tell you was that I had assumed that there will be very few people here. I am really, really surprised to see so many people early in the morning, and especially ladies, women. Sanskrit is the mother of all languages, so it's very good to see so many mothers here. When those films started, when you started showing those films, I almost had tears in my eyes. And trust me, this festival is making me so happy. Even the success of Kashmir Files did not make me so much happy. I want to tell you why. This is not a government sponsored or some industrialist has sponsored it. I look at all these young boys and girls, the quality of their films. If they had made bad quality films, I'll just say few words and leave, courtesy. But I'm overwhelmed. Because when I was your age, I wouldn't have been able to make such good quality film. The content, the quality is so good. And I was sitting and thinking, why is it so? I'm sure most of you are not trained filmmakers. Are you trained filmmakers? No. This is what proves my point. I always speak about the power of language. Language determines the content. Once you decide which language you are making a film in, your content is almost decided, the quality, the basic standard of your content. Because in Sanskrit, which is the mother of all languages, which is the language of Devvani, when the gods wanted to speak to human beings, they needed a language to express themselves. And that's how Sanskrit came into being. I'm sure you know that without language there is no mind. If there is no language, you can't think. Do you know that? You can't speak. Do you know that? That you can't think without language. Animals can't think. Only those animals can think who have evolved to have some language, like monkeys. They have some language, some language. But fish, bees, there are so many animals in this world, they can't think because they don't have a language. Thought comes with the language. Language determines what you think about the world and what you think about yourself. Your relationship with the world is determined only by the language. We take language so simply and so much for granted because it's so easy to speak. But most of the time, we are speaking rubbish. The reason is because in the modern times, we are not experts of any language. That's why when the debate is happening about films, today whole of India is saying that Tamil films, Malayalam films, Telugu films, Marathi films are very good in content and they are so rooted in Indian culture. And everybody is blaming Bollywood. They say Urdu would. Why is it so? Have you ever thought about it? Same country, same stories, same people, same problems. I am married to a Marathi girl, my wife Pallavi Joshi is a Maharashtrian, so therefore I get to see a lot of Marathi films. Believe you me, the music, acting, content, stories, everything is far, far better in quality than the films which Bollywood makes, despite hundreds and hundreds of crores. The reason these young boys and girls made such wonderful films is coming from the language. You see, I don't want to compare, I love every single language. A lot of people criticize Urdu, but I think that is a crime we are making against culture. We should be very proud of Urdu and we should be proud of ourselves, of our sanskaras. You must have seen America and Europe, they talk a lot about doing something for the minority, have empathy for the minorities. And in this world, when people talk about minorities, either they mean black people or Muslims. Okay, there is no other minority in this world. These are the only two minorities because America says so. So, everybody is talking today about minority, but we are the only country in the world which has an independent language for a section of society. We are the only nation in the world. Even Arabic countries couldn't do that. Europeans couldn't do that. In India, we invented a language called Urdu, which is coming from Hindi and other languages, and it's a combination of lots of languages which the Mughal rulers and their soldiers, everybody adopted that language. But in that language, mostly about human life, pains of human life, love, broken heart, the glory of Mughal prince and kings, those kind of things were written. So they write very good poetry, yes. But in Sanskrit, we created the world's greatest philosophies. Greatest, I am saying. I am not saying one of the greatest, trust me. All the Nobel Prize winners, all the greatest of the scientists, all the physicists, all the philosophers, almost every psychoanalyst of the world has quoted and written that they were inspired by the great teachings of Vedanta. The latest film, Oppenheimer, if you have seen, everything which was written in Sanskrit philosophy, in Sanskrit language, the great philosophy, whether it's coming from Gita, Vedanta, or coming from Advaita, Upanishad, Charvak, Patanjali, wherever it is coming from, For so many thousands of years, people did not believe in it. But today, when we wrote Tattvam, when we wrote all these great sutras, Aham Brahmasmi means you are Brahma, you are cosmos. You have the same power as the universe and the cosmos. This is our philosophy. Tattvamasi means you are God. What is God if not energy? Today, the most modern particle science and quantum physics, what are they saying? The latest discoveries are saying that every atom of your body has the same power and energy as the cosmos. If we said Tattvamasi or Aham Brahmasmi, it was not a scientific formula, it was a conclusion. And I also want to tell everybody, a lot of people say, but they just say it in Sanskrit, they never explain. No, because we are the only society in the world which had the tradition of Shastrarth. After all the Shastrarth have taken place as evidence, maybe not written down, then you arrive at a conclusion. And all the grammar, yoga, Ayurveda, Advaita, Dvaita, you name it. And all these films which they have made, they are coming from the art and science of Natya Shastra, which Hollywood follows. Where is Sahitya word coming from? Literature, Sanskrit. All these, the great poetry. And you will also find one thing, that as long as our texts and the literature was written in Sanskrit, the common sense suggests in all the literature of Sanskrit, you will never find social conflict. You will find no riots. You will not find two different communities fighting with each other. All the wars were for dharma. To choose between satya and asatya. When all the people in the West with their swords were conquering other tribes to loot their money and to plunder them, at that time we Bharatvasis, we were conquering the highest of the philosophies. We were questioning what is Satya and what is Asatya, what is Dharma and what is Adharma. We were seeking answers to the most complex questions of life. What is life? Why are we here? What is the purpose of life? And what is our relationship with the cosmos and the Brahman? We created society. Manu Smriti today, I know in Tamil Nadu, people look down at Manu Smriti, but everything evolves at the time we live in. Maybe few things which are in Manu Smriti may be the reality of that time, but you cannot, just for one or two shlokas, you cannot ignore 99% of greatest of the things. Manu Smriti is a constitution. And it is so evolved that 1947 constitution is nothing in front of that. I am saying in the land of Tamil Nadu, which has abused Manu Smriti like anything, but I am telling you, trust me, people say it because they have not read it. It is one of the greatest texts you can ever read. Yes, there are few things which in modern society you will not agree with. So all these great writings, Buddhism, today we talk about Buddhism, a lot of people talk about Buddhism. What is Buddhism? Buddhism has evolved after 1,000 years of great Shastrarth, greatest of the debates about life, philosophy, Ishwar, Nishwar, soul. And then it got synthesized into one philosophy. We spoke about moksha because we believe in the cycle of time, cyclical time. Buddha said, spoke about nirvana. He said it ends here. But nothing changed. The philosophies are the same. The Eightfold Path of Buddha is nothing. It's coming from Hindu philosophy. So today, if we are talking about Hinduism or Indic Renaissance, it is impossible that if we go back into the foundation of Sanskrit and get inspired from there, it is impossible to make anything of low quality. And I have been doing it very systematically, strategically, and people who don't know, young filmmakers, I just want to tell you how I am serving Bharat Mata, how I am repaying the debts of my parents. In every film I know, I don't make film in Sanskrit, I make in Hindi, but in my films I am slowly subtext level and in a very, very subtle level, I am inspiring young people to relook at our great ancient history. In Kashmir Files, a lot of people think it has become so successful because of the pain we have shown. No. The film has worked because of the 15-minute monologue of Krishna Pandit in the end. Because that's when you realize, see, if you say somebody has died, it will be natural pain and loss. But if somebody tells you the kind of heritage you have lost with that person, that's when you feel the pain. When the boy tells you about what all Kashmir has given to this world, how Kashmir is the knowledge center of India, that is when you realize that why Kashmir is so important. My next film which I am making, for which I am traveling everywhere, is called the Delhi Files. The Delhi Files, for the first time, let me tell you, I generally don't speak, because the name Delhi is there, a lot of people think it's about Sikh, this thing, which is not true. The Delhi Files is about how some people in last 100 years, sitting in Delhi, have systematically destroyed great Hindu tradition. If the film, it's a 100-year story of Mahabharati. It starts with Mopla, when Gandhiji gave ideological sanction to a movement called Khilafat. And that single movement called Khilafat has destroyed India and the generations after that. The first organized genocide of Hindus took place in Malabar in Kerala, which is called Mopla genocide. It happened because Gandhiji gave it approval. He changed Raghupati Raghav Rajaram to Sabko Sanmati De Bhagwan. He added on his own, as if he was the custodian of Hindu culture, he added Ishwar Allah Sabka Naam. My question is, I have no problems. I always believed Ishwar Allah, Ram, Khuda, whatever you want to say. There is one great power in this world. We say, somebody says it's Brahma, I say yes. Somebody says Vishnu, I said yes. You say Mahesh, I said yes. Recently we have celebrated Ram Janmabhoomi, everybody says Ram is that Ishwar, I say yes. After some time in Kashi we are going to celebrate Krishna, I say yes. We will celebrate Shiv, I'll say yes. Somebody says no, there is no God, I say okay, no problems. My mother used to put tika, tilak on every stone when she was going to Ganga, and she said all these stones are gods. I say okay, that is what I am. I am a Hindu. I am open to every single idea. If there are 100 crore Hindus, I say there are 100 crore gods. But still there is one supreme power, which we call Brahma, the creator. And their manifestations. I was in Mopla, somebody said that people were killed and because they were not converting and they were thrown in the well. I have made videos of all those wells. I have seen those wells were full of bodies of Hindu mothers and sisters. So somebody was telling me that they say There is only one God. In Islam, they say there is only one God, comma, Allah. I say the first part I agree with you. There is only one God, I agree with you. But if that God is Allah, I have my own doubts. Because the reason is I have nothing against Islam. I work with so many Muslims. In fact, Kashmir Files, most of them were all Muslim boys and girls, and they love me wherever I go. So many Muslim girls come and tell me that you have said what we want to say, but our family doesn't allow us. They say we are very proud of Bharat, but our family says don't say it openly. Especially girls tell me this. I'll tell you why. This entire liberal thinking, the thinking which is so vivid in imagination. Read Kalidas. Some boys were talking about Jai Shri Ram. If you are a Sanskrit scholar, you should say Jai Kalidas. You can never become a master of this art if you do not worship Kalidas. I don't think people talk about Shakespeare. Nobody, he's God. Nobody can write literature like him. His imagination, his meter, his poetry. Sanskrit theatre, Mrachakatikam. I don't know if anybody has heard about Mrach. What a great play. I mean, till date, after thousands of years, nobody can write like that. So the great literature which Sanskrit has created, the great philosophy, great ideas. Sanskrit is a language of people with ideas. That's what I say. And because Tamil and Marathi and Malayalam are still connected and are in their purest forms, that's why when you make films and create literature in these languages, it shines. After Delhi Files, I am making Dr. S.L. Bhairappa's Parva Mahabharat. Actually, I am making Mahabharat. I am inspired from that book. When I am reading it, on one hand I am reading the purest of the translation of Mahabharata, and then I am reading his book and I see the language and the ideas. You may agree or disagree with some ideas, but is of so high quality that you just cannot deny that it is not Devvani. Devvani does not mean some Devta is speaking this somewhere else. It means when you adopt this Vani, the Dev inside you will come out. That is the power of Sanskrit. But all this we are talking to each other. How do we take it to people? I made a film called The Vaccine War. It's a bioscience film. It's about how Indian scientists, especially women scientists, made this vaccine against all odds. But I brought in a philosophical question into that film. Who are we? Who are we scared of? What are we scared of? If life is a cycle, then what are we scared of? Who created us? Because when there was lockdown, in every home these questions were raised in your heart. Who am I? What will happen? Why this is happening? So, I brought in Rig Ved's Nasadiya Sukt in the film as a song. Has anybody heard of Nasadiya Sukt? The first scientific theorem of how this universe was created. सत्य के पहले असत्य नहीं था, कुछ भी नहीं था. This great imagination, now science is proving it. This Big Bang theory and all is, it's fine. It's like Christians believe in it. Nothing wrong with it. But now the science is also realizing it. They made a mistake. It wasn't Big Bang theory. Things don't work like that. One day suddenly there was a dhamaka and the God came and said, here is light. No, it didn't work like that. It came from nothingness. Absolute nothingness. Nothingness does not mean the absence of something. If this bottle is not there, doesn't mean there is nothingness. That is the absence of this bottle. Nothingness is a state. It's a state of being which is called Shiva. The Shiva consciousness is the consciousness of nothingness. And now the entire science is admitting it, which 5,000 years ago in Sanskrit we wrote, if you go to the world's most modern physics experimental lab called CERN in Switzerland, CERN. If you go there, it's the world's latest, most advanced quantum physics lab, research center. When you go there, what do you see the first thing outside? A giant statue of Shiva in Tandava Nritya. The cosmic dance. Why cosmic dance? Because Shiva's philosophy, he said that life is a constant creation and destruction. To create something, you have to destroy something. This constant process of creation and destruction is what this universe is made of, and that's exactly what the science is proving now. And I want every young Indian to take pride in this. That we indeed, and now I say it with full conviction and authority, that if there is a real true philosophy which can be proved scientifically, it is only Hindu philosophy. And this great philosophy was written in Sanskrit. It doesn't matter whether you speak Sanskrit or not. I don't speak Telugu, I watch Telugu films. I don't speak Tamil, I watch Tamil films. I love them. I watch so many Tamil films. I love them, they're wonderful. Not all, some of them. So, because the roots are very important. The reason I am single-handedly fighting Bollywood is because I think the purpose of my life is to inspire as many young people, help as many young people to go back and tell the greatness of Indian and Hindu philosophy to the world. And today there is no power bigger and stronger than this audiovisual, the power of the films. And which is why all these young boys and girls, Himanshu, brilliant. The first film was Himanshu, right? I wrote. Who's Himanshu? Wow, wonderful, great work. Then Popya, Vidita, Monaksh, Prajwal, Pratik, all of you. मैं झूठ नहीं बोलता हूँ, मैं जो है सच बोलता हूँ. Your work is far better than so many these successful Bollywood directors and producers. So therefore, I have come here for a holy work, for dharmic work, not for to give speech and get the standing ovation or claps. I have come for a different reason. For me, it is a punya ka kaam. For me, it is a very sacred work. And I just, Mantri Saab left, but I told Dr. Murugan that if INB ministry helps us little bit to make this festival a bigger festival and a better festival, you give me this much and I personally will invest a very big much and we'll make it a great festival. You can, from today onwards, you can treat me as your unofficial brand ambassador. I will make sure, today you have come in such large numbers, I'll make sure next time whenever this festival takes place, people are standing outside in a queue and they won't get seats. Two things I also want to tell. I will work with Sanskrit Bharati and do whatever we can do. But one thing I'm definitely, if you guys will permit me, all the people who have made these short films, if you allow me, I can present. We have a very big followings and big influence. We can present them on our channels and all our social medias, one by one, all the films. I can sponsor a digital Sanskrit film festival with a big announcement and big way, and which will be a continuation of the same festival so that it gets international platform. We are connected very well everywhere. And if I'll do it, then Bollywood people will also see it with a lot of interest. And second thing I want to, I would like to meet all these people, the award winners here, and I will study more. And in my next film, The Delhi Files, if you want, I can definitely take 2, 3, 4 people to join me in my direction department. so that you will also learn how to make big scale films. And it is a work, dharmic work. Delhi Files is a film about showing the world that the longest and continuous genocide in this world has happened of Hindus, the longest continuous Hindu genocide. So it's a very dharmic work, and you can join me in that. And I'm sure Shishaji, please connect me with all these young boys and girls. But let's do it soon. Otherwise, ऐसी बातें भाषणों में होती है, 2 महीने बाद सब भूल जाते हैं. So I'm a practical person. I move fast. I wish all of you all the best. And once again, I thank everybody, the jury, the organizers, Sanskrit Bharati, and all the people who have come here today to be here. You don't know what it means. All these faces have registered in my mind. And tomorrow, when this festival becomes really, really big, remember, all of us started this movement together. Dhanyavad, Jai.